Imagine this, you're completely alone, surrounded by an endless expanse of white. The only sound is the howling wind and the crunch of snow under your boots. This is the world of Topola researchers Alex and Ben, stationed at a remote outpost in the heart of the Arctic. Their mission, to study climate change. But the real experiment is about to begin. It's one of survival against an enemy they can't see, touch, or even understand. Today, we're diving deep into a story concept I've been calling Arctic Dread. It is a psychological thriller that asks a chilling question. What happens when the greatest threat isn't the brutal environment, but the landscape of your own mind? Our story opens months into their year-long deployment. The initial excitement has faded, replaced by a monotonous routine. The sun has set for the polar night, plunging their world into perpetual twilight. This is where the isolation really starts to bite. It's not just the physical distance from civilization, it's a profound, soul-crushing loneliness. The base, once a symbol of safety, begins to feel like a cage. Alex is the methodical, data-driven scientist. He believes in logic, in things that can be measured and explained. Ben is the more intuitive one, a dreamer who is drawn to the Arctic by its stark beauty and spiritual emptiness. Their contrasting personalities initially complemented each other, but as the days bleed together, their differences become a source of friction. The horror doesn't start with a jump scare. It begins subtly. A tool that's not where they left it. A strange reading on a sensor that corrects itself moments later. A fleeting shadow at the edge of their vision, dismissed as a trick of the low light. These are small things, easily explained away as products of fatigue or the disorienting environment. But then the anomalies become more personal, more targeted. Alex, the man of logic, starts hearing whispers in the static of the radio fragments of conversations from his past, words of doubt and failure. He tries to rationalize it, blaming it on atmospheric interference, on a mind starved for stimulus. Yet the whispers sound so real, so intimate. Ben's experience is different. He starts seeing things. Not a monster, but patterns in the ice and snow that seem too perfect to be natural. Spirals and geometric shapes that appear overnight, only to be gone by the next day. He feels a presence, a watchful intelligence in the vast emptiness. He tries to tell Alex, but how do you describe a feeling? How do you prove that the landscape itself is watching you? This is the core of the conflict. Alex thinks Ben is succumbing to polar madness, a known psychological condition. He becomes obsessed with monitoring Ben's mental state, analyzing his every word and action. Ben, in turn, believes Alex is blind, refusing to see the truth that's right in front of them. To trust the one thing they need to survive begins to fracture. The entity, if it even exists, never reveals itself. That's the key. It operates in the space between perception and reality. It uses their own minds against them. For Alex, it preys on his fear of failure and intellectual inadequacy. For Ben, it preys on his desire for meaning and connection, twisting it into a terrifying spiritual encounter. The tension escalates. The base's systems begin to fail in inexplicable ways. The heater cuts out in the dead of night. The communications array goes down, severing their last link to the outside world. Alex scrambles to find a logical cause for each failure, becoming more frantic and paranoid. Ben, on the other hand, sees it as the entity testing them, trying to communicate or perhaps break them. One of the most terrifying scenes would be what I call the whiteout. A massive blizzard descends on the base, reducing visibility to zero. They are trapped inside, but the feeling of being watched is now inside with them. The whispers for Alex become clearer, a chorus of his own insecurities. The patterns Ben saw outside now seem to be etched in the frost on the windows. During the whiteout, Alex finds Ben's journal. He reads pages filled with sketches of the patterns and writings about a presence in the ice, a sentient cold. To Alex, it's the final proof that Ben has lost his mind. He confronts him, and their partnership shatters completely. They are now the enemies, trapped in a tiny box at the bottom of the world. But here's the twist. As Alex accuses Ben, he catches his own reflection in a dark screen. For a split second, he sees not his own face, but something else. A distorted, gaunt figure with eyes that are just empty sockets. He blinks, and it's gone. Was it real? Or is he now seeing things too? This moment is the turning point. Alex's rigid belief in logic is shaken to its core. The line between his sanity and Ben's supposed madness blurs. Is the entity real? Or is it a shared psychosis, a folie-à-deux born from extreme isolation and fear? The story deliberately leaves this ambiguous. The horror isn't in the answer, it's in the question itself. The climax wouldn't be a physical fight with a monster. It would be a psychological battle for survival. With the storm raging and the base failing, one of them makes a desperate decision to venture outside, to face the entity on its own terms. Let's say it's Ben. He believes he can appease or understand the presence. He gears up and walks out into the blinding white. Alex, torn between trying to save him and saving himself, watches from the window as Ben's figure is swallowed by the snow. He's alone now, truly alone, or is he? The final scene sees the storm clearing. The sun is beginning to return to the horizon. Alex has managed to get the backup power running. He's a broken man, but he's alive. He looks out the window, and on the fresh, undisturbed snow, he sees a perfect, massive spiral pattern etched into the landscape, centered exactly where the base is. The very pattern Ben was obsessed with. The camera pulls back, showing the tiny base, the lone survivor inside, and the impossible symbol surrounding him. A symbol that could not have been made by the wind. The whispers on the radio start again, but this time, it's not a voice from his past. It's a new voice. It's Ben's voice, calm and clear, saying a single word: listen. Optic Dread isn't a story about a creature. It is about the terror of being trapped with the only person you can't escape from, yourself. It explores how our reality is shaped by our perceptions and how easily that reality can be broken. The true monster is the doubt that creeps into your mind and makes you question everything you believe to be true. What do you think? Is the entity real, or is it all in their heads? Would you be Alex, or would you be Ben? Let me know your theories down in the comments. I read every single one. If you love digging into stories that mess with your head, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next deep dive. Thanks for watching, and stay curious.